our attention now to China in the meantime, because growth and consumer price data much stronger than forecast. Economists, including our next guest, say that tackling inflation remains the top priority for the People's Bank of China. Stephen Green is head of the Greater China Research Team at Standard & Chartered in Shanghai. He is a Bloomberg Best overall forecaster of the Chinese economy, and he is joining us now from Shanghai. Stephen, thanks so much for joining us this morning. GDP 9.7%, stronger than expected. CPI, though, 5.4%, much stronger than expected. What does this mean about future rate increases to come? How many are we going to see?
Well, a storming set of numbers, obviously, and at least one on the administrative rate side, possibly two. I mean, the real weight of the real work of monetary policy at the moment is being done by guidance to the banks. Guidance to bank lending, so that's still going to be strictly controlled, at least for another quarter, possibly two.
How difficult is it, Stephen, to reach consensus? I mean, we know there's all kinds of interested parties in just how high the rate should go and how fast. Do you have a sense of how many various opinions there are out there?
Yeah, I mean, on the upside, there are two concerns. One is that you raise rates so high that a lot of these local government infrastructure companies, the companies which built a building China and which really carried the weight of the last 2 years of the stimulus package, they're very highly leveraged. So if you raise rates, you start giving them some problems. The other concern is if you raise rates too high, with Fed being at zero and is going to be near zero for a year or probably 2 years more, would that attract even more hot money into China? On the other side of that, though, the State Council, the top decision-making policy body, has made it very, very clear in their statement a couple of days ago that inflation remains the priority. Therefore, you will see at least one, possibly two more rate hikes in the next quarter, potentially, I think.
Stephen, the Chinese government has ordered Unilever, of course this is the consumer goods, consumer food company, to delay any kind of price increases, and yet the price of food is still going higher in China. How worried do you think the Chinese government is about political, or rather social, unrest?
Well, I mean, it's a tricky question that you have to ask them. I mean, just looking at the data, you've got things like sugar going up by 30%, rice going up by 18%, while at the same time rural incomes, and that's where half of the population live, their incomes only went up by 14% in the year to the first quarter of this year. So for much of rural China, they're suffering because maybe 40 to 50% of their spending goes on food. There are a lot of concerns in Beijing about inflation. I think at the end of last year they thought it would be just a 3-month story. We would be coming down by March, April time. That isn't happening. We think CPI remains between 5 and 6 for at least another 3, possibly 4 months. So we've got another quarter at least for China tightening.
Stephen, thank you very much. We know even the Chinese Premier Wen Jiabao saying that a tiger, inflation is like a tiger. Once it's released, it's hard to tame. Stephen Green joining us there. He is head of Greater China Research at Standard Chartered. He is a Bloomberg Best, and he was just joining us there from Shanghai on these all-important CPI numbers and the GDP numbers straight from China.